It's time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Hey, welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. And if you were paying attention, you probably know what we're going to be talking about today. Dance, DJ Deb once again. First person in the chat, Tang Fever. How you doing? Nice seeing you, Tang. Looks like a little smaller crowd today, but that's okay. We're gonna do this anyway and see who we can annoy. DJ Hack, you were supposed to be lurking. Nice tie. Thank you so much. I've had this tie for a really long time. It's actually my go-to tie, actually, when I'm DJing. I really like this tie. And you can't tell, but it's getting frayed. It's getting beaten. But I really like this tie. I don't know. I don't remember where I got it. I don't remember if I bought it or Kajira bought it or where I don't know where it came from. I could have found it on the floor at the end of a gig and picked it up and brought it home. I'm just not sure. Yeah. It is my favorite tie. I like the way it looks, and it goes with everything. I mean, sometimes I wear a purple shirt, or sometimes I wear a beige shirt or whatever, and it just works. It just works. So, happy Tuesday, everybody. The 7th of October and 4 o'clock here in Northern California on a warm day. It's 89 degrees or so, and we've had some beautiful weather days. And but they're thinking some sprinkles. They're thinking some rain might come in, which is a little scary because my wedding, of course, on Saturday is outside, and or at least partially outside. The ceremony, the dinner, the cocktails, all outside. Then they move into a pavilion kind of thing for dancing. So. Yeah, I'm assuming probably if it gets all rainy, they'll probably just move everything into the pavilion. So such is the life of a mobile DJ, it's something that we battle, because it's one of those, the old saying of the show must go on. In our world, I mean, it is so true, because I don't care if I'm feeling funky. Or if I'm just don't have it, I go to the show, I do the show. If it's wet, if it's cold, if it's hot, we do it anyway because it's there. It's somebody's wedding, or maybe it's a corporate event or something. But you just can't go. You know what? I'm gonna call in sick today. I'm just not. You don't have those days as a mobile DJ. And especially if you're a single system guy like me who survives just on my own. Maybe it's different if you're a multiple system company and you have multiple DJs, and then maybe if one of your DJs is not feeling quite up to snuff, you've got a backup. You've got somebody you can send on to an event. The bride and groom or corporate person might not be pleased that all of a sudden they're getting Mike as opposed to Bill. But the bottom line is they would have somebody there, and hopefully a professional DJ that could rock their party. So yeah, rain, dead of night, sleet, whatever. I have my party on Thursday. Is a corporate event, and it's an after party, and I start at 10 o'clock at night and play till 2 in the morning. By the time I get home, by the time I tear down and get all my gear and drive home, it's about an hour away. I should be rolling in home about 4 o'clock in the morning. But again, that's what we do. And I don't have a gig, fortunately, on Friday, so I've got Friday to play catch up, and then Saturday and then Sunday. Saturday gig, and then Sunday another catch up day. So. But I've lived this life, 33 years. I've been a full-time mobile DJ now, or is it 34 years? Something like that, 30 years. It's for me, it's normal. And when I talk to some of my buddies, my golf buddies, or my non-DJ buddies or buddettes, explaining my lifestyle, the way that I live and way that I survive, they're always like, wow, how do you, because even when I don't have an event, like last night, I didn't have an event. I was still up till midnight, whereas a lot of people that have to be at work at, 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, they're in bed after the 6 o'clock news. or something, But I'm up late all the time. I mean, even though my wife goes to bed, Black Sheep Kajira goes to bed like right around 9ish. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later, but definitely before 9:30. And so I'm up, late at night, and that's why I stream sometimes late at night, because once my wife goes to bed, I'm kind of up, and I'm like, well, what do I want to do now? I'm going to watch reruns of Star Trek or MASH or something, or maybe, maybe hang out online, and maybe get on Twitch and as a viewer, not as a streamer. And I do that sometimes, especially if I just don't feel like I quite have it to DJ. But most of the time, or a lot of the times, I just feel like, well, hell, let's just go out and play some music. Generally speaking, at nighttime, I play slow jams. I like to kind of mellow at night. And one of my moderators is a big slow jam fan, so I kind of play for her, but not always, but sometimes. And not having a set schedule, leaves me wide open. If I feel like playing that night, I do. If I don't, I don't. I don't normally play more than 2 hours. Sometimes I'll play 3, but that's kind of a stretch. I'm not like Dance DJ Deb, who will play 12 or 14 hours. In fact, on my list of things to speak about today, one of those is streamers who stream for hours on end, where I'm going to touch base on that a little bit, which I think is amazing, but the couple that I wish I would have thought about this conversation earlier, because I would have liked to have reached out to a few of the streamers that stream for hours on end, and and got the why, or how, or what kind of drugs are you on, something like that. Because when I see somebody, I think, was it Hack the other night? I came home from my gig or someplace, and he was on a 13-hour zone. I think that was that Hack the other night? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. And then and Deb starts at Sunday night, and then I go to bed and she's on, and I get up in the morning and she's still on, next Monday, and then I go to work, I go to the golf course, I come home, she's still on. I'm assuming. Well, I don't want to get into that right now. I have a point, and I want to get there, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. But as usual, I'm just trying to kill a couple minutes here, so in case anybody wants to come in at the last minute, I can I don't want to get into the meat of things and then lose some people. So this is just kind of, hello, Sam Nation, the man with the plan and the man with the emotes. And in fact, a couple posts up on the stream there. There's a link to Sam Nation's emotes. If you are a streamer and you need emotes, Sam has got a gazillion of them, and they are free. They don't cost anything. And I wish that Twitch would give me more emote, what do you call them, spaces or whatever. But they don't, and I haven't. I got to a point to where I had so many, and I don't really remember how many it is. I got so many, and then that's it. I haven't had a new space emote for a couple years. I think I read somewhere that in order to get more emote spaces, has to do with subscriptions. If you get more subscriptions, you get more emote spaces. I think, and again, that's something that's floating around in my mind that I think I may or may not have read, or somebody told me, or whatever. I'm not really sure how they does it, because sometimes I look at stream and I go, how in the hell did you get so many freaking emote spaces? I'd love to have more like that. Because I use half of mine I use up for my moderators, because I'm one of the things I like to do for my moderators, I give my moderators their own emotes. So I got a little emote for Tina Baby, and a little emote for my wife, and an emote for Tennessee Girl, and a little emote for Lady J, and and they're ones that I make, which is crap, because I can't do the cool stuff that Sam Nation does. Ladies and gentlemen, my Pookie's in the house, DJ Ryan 22. How you doing, Rai? I actually have an emote for Ryan, but for some reason I don't have it in the queue right now. But yeah, I mean, so Sam Nation's got a bunch of emotes. If you need some free emotes, either go back up in the chat, and it's on the timer. It'll probably pop back up, but I'm sure you can reach out to Sam and get it. So Dance Dance DJ Deb says yes, spaces for emotes are based on subs, and which is why I mean I actually tried to look today, which is something else we're going to talk about on my stats. I tried to look to find out how many actually subscribers I have, and I know there's a way to do it. I know there's a button you can push to see how many subscribers you have. I'm not a techie guy, and today I couldn't find it. I can probably find it when I'm not looking for it, but for some reason I want to say it's like 18, 19, something like that, maybe 20, and obviously that kind of comes and goes. A couple of weeks ago, I think DJ Chuck 94 was in my chat, and he dropped like a 10-pack, and I think that's half my emotes or half my subscribers. So he's not here, but thank you, Chuck. And Ryan likes to push my buttons, and I like to push his too. Yeah, baby. Ryan is my Pookie. I know we've said this before. Ryan lives not too far from me. We are good buds. We work with each other. And from time to time, we do push each other's buttons. We do pick on each other. We do rip on each other, but it's all done in love. And if not love, at least lust, one of the two. So I think I've killed a couple of minutes here. So as my stream title says, the first thing I want to talk about, and for some reason I've got a number of things I want to talk about today. I don't know if I will get to them all. But the first thing, as my stream title suggests, is drinking on Twitch. I want to touch bases on that. And again, this is one of those things where I wish I would have had this idea. My podcast is very off the cuff. It's very fly by night. It's like, what are you going to talk about today? Oh, I don't know. I don't plan this out weeks in advance. Usually, sometimes I do, and I get ideas about things. But I wish I would have thought about this one earlier, because I would have liked to have reached out to some of the DJs that are on Twitch that are drinkers on Twitch. Now, DJ Ryan and myself, when we started 5 years ago, Ryan was Apple Crown was his drink of choice, and Fireball was my drink of choice, and we used to drink a lot and get very buzzed, and I think mostly because as full-time DJs, I don't really have to worry about a day job, so I could be wrecked the next day. And it wouldn't matter, as opposed to somebody who's got a regular 9-to-5 job that streams, and then, oh my God, they got to go to work and they're half hungover. Ryan, all lies. Ryan would go through a bottle of Apple Crown almost every stream. Of course, he would stream for 4 or 5 or 6 hours. But I never lived up to Ryan's drinking when I was doing my Fireball. And then for those of you that know DJ Head, he's definitely into Fireball. And ladies and gentlemen, DJ Six is in the house, and he remembers those days of drinking. And you still drink on camera. I see you doing shots on camera. Not as much. You're right. Not as much as we used to. I'm not really sure why there is so much drinking on Twitch. There's a number of DJs that I enjoy watching that drink on Twitch, and some of them have that. Hey, we get to level 5, and we'll take a shoey. We'll do a shot. And sometimes they get extremely loopy. Yeah. Six says they still drink, but they have toned it down a good bit. And yeah, Six says 5-pack of subs, and yeah, that's it. I have never been a big drinker to begin with, right? I was never a big drinker to begin with, but it was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's fun, to have a few shots, to have a few drinks, and you get that little buzz going on. You get a little silly, especially if you're a talker, you can talk more, and it just loosens you up, and it's fun. But can you take it too far? Can it be done to excess? Now, only twice. Only twice have I seen this happen. Sam Nation just said apparently Chuck 94 passed out from drinking on his stream last week. Yeah, I was there. I saw it, which kind of was what kind of prompted this particular line of discussion. I've seen this happen twice. Did you pass out on camera? I've seen this happen twice where the streamer got buzzed, and I wasn't going to mention any names. I'm still not going to mention any names because, I don't like to out people on stuff. And they passed out on screen, on camera, live, and the song ends. And there they are. Now, once was a guy, once was a girl. So it's not based on any kind of, I don't know, male, female, whatever kind of thing. You passed out on camera. One of my mods rated us out. Now, on Chuck's situation, who I love, but his mods didn't have that power. They didn't have the rating power. You have to give your moderators the editing power also, not just a mod power. You have to give them the editor power. And if they don't do that, they can't raid you out. And so in his case, he was on camera for 8 hours, passed out. The girl that I saw was on probably at least that long, if not longer. And when she passed out, she head first, and all you could see was the top of her head. And you're at first it's funny. I will admit, at first it's funny. Then you start going, okay, well now I'm getting a little worried, and after 45 minutes or so, you get a little scared, So if you're a drinker on Twitch, just kind of all I wanted to say is be careful, and have a backup. Have one of your moderators have a rating. The parameters for a rating. So yeah, give them that editor so they can get you out of there. It would have been a lot less embarrassing for either of these two people that I saw pass out if their mods could have rated them out. I was live at the time, and they could have rated to me. Now, the funny thing is, you were 16 hours in the stream. The funny thing is that one of these individuals, when they passed out, people thought it was funny, and they got a hype train. And I level 3, level 4, level 5 hype train while they were passed out. So in fact, I joked in the chat. I go, well, maybe I need to, pass out on stream. Maybe that would, maybe then I can get a hype train. That would be cool. Yeah, I don't want to harp on this. I don't want to put anybody down on that at all. I really. Again, like I say, I was never a big drinker to begin with, but I did enjoy it. And some of you know, a year and a half ago or so, I had a heart attack, and where my doctor asked me if I was a drinker, and I said, well, occasionally, and he goes, well, okay, but so it's not a really good idea for me to drink anyway. Not that he told me to stop, because I wasn't a big but that was the last. I haven't had it. Well, I don't think I've had a drink since then. I can't promise that, but I don't think I've had a drink in the last year and a half, or maybe a shot or something here or there. But that was it. So yeah, I mean, drinking on Twitch, please be careful. And it's almost kind of a bad message, somewhat, just to send. If you're a professional DJ. Such as myself and Ryan, that does this full time for a living, it's not a great look. Not that we're using this for any kind of promotional platform, or that clients are searching Twitch for the next great DJ for their corporate event or wedding. But it's not a good look. It's not a good look for us. It doesn't make us look good. I mean, there's enough jokes around about DJs, working for drink tickets and stuff like that. And so just be careful. So that's my drinking message for the day. As I open up my can of Diet Coke. That way, if Coke wants to sponsor me. So that's it. That's it for the drinking. Unless there's anybody in the chat that has a something they'd like to say or bring up or question. As you know, again, I'm going to say the same thing. It's Chat with Chuck, and so if you've got anything you want to chime in, please feel free to chime in. Those of you that are on YouTube watching or listening, we do have the live chat, and we do work on those people. DJ Six says, "I am right." Tang Fever says, "I agree with this message." And so, it's kind of XYZ or ABC. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times the chat edges it on and on. Yes, and they do. And when I was drinking, it was the same thing. And they do. It's kind of like you're watching the races for the wreck. You're slow down on the road looking for the wreck. They're seeing the wreck. People like to see that. They want to see the train wreck. They oh my God, he's gonna crash. Oh, this is so funny. Oh yeah. It's kind of like Cuz, yes. So just be careful, because they will. The chat will egg you on. I mean, I know I have. I know, like in KGB's chat, for example, there have been a couple of times where he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to get to level. If we get to level 5, we're gonna get a shot." And he needs another sub or something to get to level 5, and I'll sub Black Sheep Kajura to get him over level 5 to make him take a shot. I get caught up in it. I get caught up in the moment. So yeah, just again, it's fun, but let's just be careful out there. But that has to do with, I mean, I don't want to pick on drinking. What does that mean? Well, I said XYZ, but I meant ABC. When I use the term ABC, that's like ABC book. It's ABC drinking. I mean, it's ABC rules. I mean, that's basic stuff. That's stuff everybody should know. ABC it's something everybody should know. So being careful with drinking. That's ABC. That's easy. Hiding your cords, Ryan. That's ABC. Those are things. In those, Sam Nation says, in those situations, maybe a better plan is pretending it's vodka when it's really water. And as Ryan knows, and I'll admit to this, especially towards the end, sometimes my fireball was apple juice. For that exact reason, because I knew it was getting out of hand. And I still wanted to have the illusion. I still wanted to have the fun, with people. And so, yeah, I mean, there were times where I drank apple juice as opposed to the fireball. Not always. DJ Head, when DJ Head is on, not last time, but usually when DJ Head's on, he's drinking fireball, because that DJ Head, he just drinks fireball, and he probably can't do his show without drinking fireball. Last time DJ Head was in the studio, he didn't drink fireball, and when he left, he wasn't as pleased with his show as he had been in the past, because for that same reason, that alcohol gives him that don't care attitude, I guess. Say what you want, whatever. It didn't really matter, because if nothing else, you could blame it on the booze. So DJ Head left sober when he was here. In fact, it was during DJ Six's Rocktober, his set, and he definitely noticed a difference, from not drinking and drinking. I think he said to me that he probably would never do a show again without drinking. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with DJ Head, but anyway. All right, so we're putting drinking to bed, right? Okay. I made a post about this on Facebook the other day, and I didn't get nearly the traction. I didn't really get the response that I had hoped. So, and this is going to be something that those of you that are in the chat, direct messaging me this answer, because I don't have a great camera. It is I got some little bullshit little USB camera What is it? What is it? It's an HD Pro webcam C920, and it was like $69. And is it okay? Sure, it's okay. But when I watch my show and I watch back on the show that I record, and then I look at other people's shows, I'm like, wow, those cameras are great. So I've been asking people what kind of cameras they use, and now I'm not going to go out and spend $900 on a SLR camera to do my show, because I just don't make that much money doing the show, so it seems a little silly. But I am curious or willing to spend a couple $200-300. You use Sandwich, ladies and gentlemen, one of my fave DJs on the show. You use an old cell phone from like 4 years ago. Also hello. I don't have one, and I would have to figure out how to use that. Well, actually, I'd have to figure out how to use anything, because I am as those I've said this before, I'm not a techie guy, but I don't know if I have an old camera around the house, because I notice every once in a while when I'm watching back on this show, which is really the show that I record to watch back on. Occasionally, it'll go in and out of focus. Now, I think that's because maybe I move my arms a lot, and the camera picks up on my arm or my hand, and it focuses it on that, and then it takes a while for it to grab my face and focus it on that. I don't know. Maybe that's a normal camera thing. But when I see guys Sandwich like yours, or KGB or Alpha. It really, finding a good camera is it's not going to make you any more money on Twitch. It's not going to make, it's not going to make people, give you more biddies or drop subs or anything. But for those of you that are paying attention, or if those of you that are listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, if you have an idea for a camera, an upgrade, somewhere around the, $200-300 range is fine. Drop me a link or name or something. Sandwiches, I use an app called DroidCam, and you can set it up wirelessly, or you can use a cable too, but the quality is pretty good in my opinion. Well, yours looks good. I love yours. So for those of you that have any ideas, any thoughts, if you want to, drop me a message or something, if you think about it, either through Twitch, or if you follow me on Facebook, drop it on Facebook, or if you're on Instagram, you can find me on Instagram. Do that, or like I say, if you're following on YouTube, in the message, go ahead and feel free to do that. So that's my camera spiel. I don't know, I've gone back and forth on that, because it's, those of you that know me know that, I stopped streaming. I'm never coming back. I'm never streaming again, and I'm tearing it all down. I'm packing it up and I'm putting it away. And, I do all that. So it seems a little silly to spend a bunch of money on a camera when I could get in that mood again. But I can write it off as a DJ. I can write off pretty much any technology, for business expense. I can write that off. So, which is why I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I can spend a few $100. I might even spend $4. But that, anything more than that, it'd have to really be. It'd have to really be a special camera, it'd have to really do something good, But so I don't see that's happening. Ryan, if you're following me on Ancient Scrolls, let me know on that. That's true. I'm old and I am on Facebook. It's funny because they pick on people. They say, "Oh, the Facebook, it's for all the old people." But there's a crap load of people. My MySpace page, but Facebook, I think Facebook is still relevant. Now, is it relevant for maybe the younger, I don't know how young can we shoot here? 14, 15 to 25, 26, 27-year-old people? Are they all on, Instagram or X or what was it, Blue or something? Blue Sky? I got on Blue Sky, when it came out, and it got no traction there. So, but Facebook, I kind of live on Facebook, and I like that. I'm very comfortable on that. So yeah, you can find me on the ancient scroll of Facebook would be fine. So cameras, yeah, that's good. Speaking speaking of new platforms, I've been following, and we've talked a little bit about it, the new streaming platform of LFG. And it's getting a lot of um, I see I see a number of posts on Instagram from the LFG people, and I see some great comments or hey, I'm on Instagram, or I'm on you use a Logitech 922. Trish, how you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, mine's like a 920 or something. What the we just mine we just went through this. We just went through this. 920. So I don't know if that's any different. But I think it's a Logitech too. But let's LFG. It's good to see you too. Thank you. Yours, and mine works. Going back to camera, mine works. I just sometimes I think that it could be better. Again, it's not going to make me any more money. It's not any There's almost really no reason to worry about it. But I'm like, it's a write-off. I could use a write-off, and I don't mind upgrading a little bit here or there. I could probably really upgrade the lighting. Is probably what. I mean, I got a floodlight over there. I got a Ring camera over here. I got a DJ bar white lights up there. Nothing professional. I could probably upgrade the lighting, but the lighting that I have, I could always use on something else. So anyway, LFG. Is anybody streaming on LFG? If you're a streamer, and back to LFG. I don't know if there's anybody in here that is actually streaming or restreaming on LFG. I put mine's in a ring light. Oh, you put yours on a ring light, in a ring light. Yes, I have. And you've streamed on LFG. I've watched a few streamers on LFG. There are some very cool features on LFG that I think that I like. I think it's great. I still don't see a lot of viewers on LFG. Did you get very many viewers, Trish, when you were there? Do you have people over there? I mean, I've talked about this before, and getting the DJs there is fine. Getting the viewers there is another thing. I was just curious if there's been any. We've talked about it last couple of weeks. It doesn't seem like anybody here has pretty much anything to say about LFG, so I don't think it's really gaining any traction, as it were. I actually tried to restream on LFG a couple of weeks ago, but I couldn't figure out how to. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. I thought there was a way on OBS that you could restream free. I thought OBS gave you one other reason. Hex on Air, how you doing? Welcome in. Nice seeing you this morning on somebody's stream we were on. Doesn't give the same atmosphere yet. I know that you have to pay to restream. I know that, but I thought OBS had a option where it was just you could do two things. You could stream to two places for free. But because I don't really want to spend any money on something that you got to kind of go out of your way for. You're waiting for LFG to put in a emote wall. Yeah. Well, see, Paul. Hi, nice. Welcome in. And Hex on Air. The same atmosphere is that because of the lack of viewers? The people, the few, like I've watched Alpha there, I've watched KGB there, I've watched a couple DJs there. The chat's not very interactive, and for me, I've said this a zillion times as a streamer and a viewer, I need a good chat. I don't need just to hear music, right? I can put on Spotify or iTunes or just my own personal preference music. Ryan's waiting for LFG to let LFG. Yes, so I don't need just to hear music. I don't need that. It's a social thing for me. Even when I'm just streaming here, just my normal like DJ streams, I need a chat, and my moderators will tell you that I can have 60 people. I would love to have 60 people in the chat, but let's say I had 60 people in the chat. We're going to talk about this in a second. But if nobody's chatting, if there's no interaction, if there's no, maybe Hexanair means this, if there's no atmosphere there, There's no reason for me to be there. I will shut down. I will raid out with 60 people in my room, even if I've only been playing an hour and a half. If there's no chat, if there's nothing going on, because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy playing music. I like music, but I enjoy the social aspect of the chat. I enjoy this. Now that's me. Now maybe that's not everybody. I know some people don't even like it when their DJs talk. Some DJs don't even talk. Dance Dance DJ Deb's a perfect example. She does great shows, long shows. She doesn't talk. But that's, but she's in the chat. She's very good about being in the chat. Okay, let me catch up here on the chat. Speaking of which, Paul says, I'm waiting for LFG to put a moat wall up. Once it does, I think a lot of DJs will be going over there. That's probably true. Hexanair says it's kind of diluting views. People are in two chats at the same time. It goes too far for me to subscribe on two channels, etc., etc. Sam Nation, yes, hey. Hex, I don't know. I've mentioned this before, and I will mention it again. You talk about diluting views. I felt this way about Kick. I feel the same way about LFG. And I know that you're a big Alpha fan, as I am. There is no reason, although Alpha's been doing this cool thing in the morning where he shuts down for like the last hour and he moves over there. But okay. But there's no reason for me to go over to LFG to watch Alpha or to watch KGB or to watch 80s Dance Party or some of these other DJs that I like if they are still on Twitch, because I'm familiar with Twitch. I like Twitch. There's a lot of people there. Why do I want to go over to Kick or to LFG when there's nobody there or very few people there, when it's more fun over on Twitch? Now, I said this before. Unless that streamer that I like is not on Twitch and they are only on LFG or Kick, so both of them, LFG is just Kick point 2.0, but unless they're not on Twitch, there's no reason for me to go over there, right? So until DJs stop streaming on Twitch and say, screw you, I'm not going to be on Twitch. I'm only on LFG or I'm only on Kick. That's where you want to find me. Now, that's the roll of the dice that you're taking as a streamer to hope that your crowd goes over there. And just goes, well, if he's going over to LFG, okay, well, whatever, but I'm just going to stay here on Twitch and find somebody else to watch. It's more than a money thing. Twitch takes too high of a percentage. It does take an awfully high of percentage, and for those that are trying to earn a living on Twitch or streaming, that's a really big deal. Now, there are a lot of us that stream that aren't doing it for a living on Twitch. I'm a perfect example. I don't need to stream for money. I mean, do I like it? Do I love it when people give me biddies or drop subs? Heck yes. When none of us are independently wealthy, so yeah, getting that is great. But I'm not trying to earn my living on this. Now I know some DJs are. I'm not going to mention any names, but and that's hard. And some DJs are freaking killing it. My God, some DJs are amazing, making amazing money on Twitch. My favorite is Sintica, Sinitca, Sintica. In Germany, house DJ, amazing. Not selling sex, selling music, and she is great, and she makes frickin' bank. I don't know what she was doing before the pandemic, but so the money thing isn't even as important, Icy Ice does really good on Twitch, Paul says. So like say, oh yeah, if I move over to, we all did it when Kick came on. They said the same thing. We're going to pay you more money. We're going to give you a better percentage. Let's go over to Kick. We all did. Nobody followed us. Never happened. I think Kick sounds better. I think the quality of sound is better on Kick than it is on Twitch, right? But nobody went over there. The viewers, the casual viewers, nobody went over there, right? So are they mad to the ones making big money, I wonder? Are they mad? I'm not really sure what you mean there, Trish. I'm sure the ones that are making big money wish that the percentage was better so they'd make even more money. That's, about the cut. Yeah, I'm sure they're mad. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would prefer a better cut. I mean, but it's like me with my agents for being a DJ. My agent takes cuts, right? What do I wish they would take less of a cut so I could make more money? Well, sure, but my agent is the one with all the contacts. They're the one that does all the paperwork. They're the ones that that go out and try to find me events. Or they have their clients that come out to me, right? I'm not having to chase all that stuff. So yeah, they're taking a bigger cut. On Twitch, I mean, they're the ones that are putting the money up for, again, whatever technology it takes to run the shows, they're paying for it, I think somebody said a while back that Twitch was going to start advertising or promoting the fact that they have DJs on Twitch. I haven't seen that, but, that would be cool. Hexenera says, for Twitch, the DJs are really a minor part, and I've heard not the priority. All those DJs that use that as an argument, but they are also afraid the viewers don't follow and stay on two platforms. Yeah, I mean, Twitch was originally a gamer platform, and that is still the main thing. Now, I'm going to jump real quick here since we talked about that. There is a very cool thing, and I'm not going to the validity of this particular site, you can take it as you wish, but it's called Twitch Tracker. I put the link in the chat. So I went to my Twitch Tracker today, and I don't think it actually has anything to do with Twitch. I'm not really sure, but you can find out what's going on now. In fact, up in the stream there, it says one of my timers. It just says, welcome to the 98,179th streamer on Twitch. So if you go to Twitch Tracker, you can put your name in, or you can put in any name of any DJ or any person on Twitch that you want, and their stats will come up. So I did that today. And I went in to look at my stats. Now you can do like yearly or monthly or whatever. So I put in my yearly stats on Twitch Tracker. Let me clue you in here. From March 2020, which apparently is when I got on Twitch, through October 7th, right? My ranking as a streamer on Twitch is 98,179th, right? So that might tell you how many streamers are on Twitch, right? Apparently, in that time, and that's 5 years, it's been a little over 5 years now, I've streamed 2,065 hours. Okay? I've averaged 15 viewers, which tells you what, the most I ever had at one time was 154 viewers. I remember that day. It was a major raid day, and I think they didn't hang out, but that was fun. It's active days, which I'm assuming the number of days I've actually streamed on Twitch is 811. So, Twitch Tracker. So yeah, I mean, if I'm the 98,179th streamer, that's where my ranking is on with that Twitch Tracker. Can you imagine how many streamers are on Twitch? So yeah, the DJs are such a small piece of the Twitch community that we don't hardly even register with them. I mean, they probably don't even care if we're here or not. They don't make any money off of us. I mean, 95% of the DJs that I know don't make crap on Twitch, which means they're not making crap. So what do they care if we're here or not? I mean, love them. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for all the work they're doing. I know they've been working their butts off on the whole, musical, getting the rights to the record companies and all that kind of stuff. God love them, but okay, let's talk about that for a second. LFG and Kick, how are they pulling it off? How long will it be before ASCAP, BMI, or whoever goes after LFG or goes after Kick? I haven't heard anything about either one of those. Getting the okay to play Prince. or whoever. I think I got a bad boy letter the other day for playing a Def Leppard and a Green Day song. Ouch. So yeah, I mean, twitchtracker.com, really, really fun. And like I say, you can put in anybody. It's not like you just have to put in, only can put in your name. You can put in, even if they're registered on Twitch, you can put their name in. Probably, you could probably put Hexanair. You could probably put Atina Baby, who doesn't stream, one of my moderators. You could probably put Atina Baby in there and see what her stats are. And I'll let that comment go, because I could run with that one. But yeah, it's amazing. The small piece of Twitch that we DJs are. So LFG, yeah, go to LFG. Give me a reason to go there. They've got some great things. I love their built-in name, title, song generator. So if you're playing a song, it automatically pops up there what you're playing. That's great. I love that. I love stealing songs from other DJs. That's very cool. Trish says Kick acted like they were giving more money than they changed. Oh, then they changed up. I heard once everyone went there, so hopefully LFG don't do this. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I did obviously know when Kick started, they were like, oh, we're going to give you like, I don't know what it was, like 90% of whatever it is, some dumb amount. And which is why we all jumped ship, while we all went over there. LFG says, yeah, we're giving you a better deal too. But yeah, so Kick is giving less now. I mean, I stopped multi-streaming. I heard, well, for two reasons. One is that I wasn't getting any traction on Kick. And two, when you multi-stream, you have to have another monitor, because you have to be watching that one so you can acknowledge people in your chat. Because as we talked about a few episodes ago, when I did my how to keep streamers or how to keep viewers in your stream, is that you have to acknowledge your chat. You have to acknowledge people in there. Somebody drops you 100, somebody just drops in and says, hi, I'm here. You got to acknowledge that. And they drop 100 biddies. They drop you have to acknowledge those people, because I'm sorry, it's ego. If you go into some chat and you're drop biddies, or you do a sub, or you're just you're there and you're talking and you're not getting acknowledged, that's crushing. That's like, what the hell? Am I chopped liver here? At least you could say hi, Hexanair, yeah. I mean, so I made a joke. I think Sam Nation was there. I've told this before. A few weeks ago, we were on LFG, and we were in KGB's chat, and we were talking, and I jokingly said, I wonder how long it's going to take for him to notice that we're here. Because he wasn't acknowledging us, and we were saying stuff, or at least I was saying stuff to get him to, hey, here we are, woo, woo, And I think eventually he did. I think eventually he said something. Dance DJ Deb says, one of my followers the other day mentioned they were in someone's stream for 39 minutes and nothing. Yes, exactly. Tang Fever says, by the way, chopped liver isn't that bad. Just saying. Yeah, liverwurst. Is that liverwurst? I don't know. Whatever, chopped liver. Okay. So that's important. And so when you're restreaming, not only do you have to have your Twitch monitor, you got to have your LFG monitor. Now I know guys that are still doing Kick and LFG. So now they've got 3 monitors. I'm just not that techie, to tell you the truth. Because now as a DJ, you're sitting here over here, you're trying to figure out your songs, you're trying to mix, even if you don't mix much like me, and you're trying to do yada, 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 yada. Now you're trying to watch your Twitch chat, you're trying to watch your Kick chat, you're trying to watch your LFG chat, you're trying to acknowledge all those people. And if you do nights like me, where I do no mic nights, where I don't have a mic, I've got to respond to everybody by typing in, or like Dance DJ Deb, who doesn't, if ever, or rarely talk, and she's always acknowledging on her keyboard. That's a lot. Sam Nation says original Slack rated someone last week with 60 viewers, but the person they rated to didn't notice or acknowledge. I think I know who you're talking about, but and yeah, it's like, hello, you gotta pay attention. You got to pay attention, and I get it. I'm a DJ. I understand what it takes to pick a song, to decide what you're going to play, to cue that song up, to catch it on beat, in key. If you're that kind of guy, I understand that what it takes to do all that, and it's a lot. It's a lot to do, but you've got to acknowledge your chat. I mean, if you're paying attention, if you're listening to me, if you have a chance, and if you haven't, let's see. Usually Tennessee girls here doing this. There. That's the link to my YouTube channel. If you get a chance, go to the YouTube channel and watch the show that we did, that I think it's called How to Keep People in Your Stream, or How to Keep, something like that. It's 4 or 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. And if you're a streamer and there's a lot of great ideas, because I reached out to a number of streamers to get input on that. It's not just me. I reached out to, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9 streamers to give me ideas on how to keep people in your chat. What does it take? And a lot of that was, you gotta acknowledge people. Because people don't want to be ignored. I mean, they could be anywhere. Think about it. How many people are on Twitch right now streaming? They could be there. They could be doing all kinds of things, and on a different channel. And so you need to acknowledge those people. They also like a lot in the chat. Yeah. In the chat, it's just so important. If you're a long-time streamer, or they get bored, is what I guess not bread, or they get bread. Well, maybe they're getting bread. I don't know, Trish. Different people do different things while watching the show. If you want to get bread while you're watching my show, hey, we can talk. Let's see. So Hexonair says, as a viewer, I can say that I can't grasp what it is that attracts me to a stream. Sorry. It is performance, the kind of music, but a big part to people I know in the chat. More people seem to know me than I know them. Well, yeah, and that's very cool. And you're right. I mean, I guess music might be the first thing, because if somebody's playing, I mean, I don't know, country, which I like, but I'm not a huge fan of. But house. I like house a little bit, but if I have a choice, I'm probably not going to stop into a house chat unless maybe it's somebody that I really want to support. I don't know if he's still here. Sandwich does a great show. DJ Nine Iron, I love their shows. Again, Cynthia, I love her shows, and that's all. They're all kind of housey of some sort, EDM. There's such a wide catalog of stuff for that. I love Dance DJ Deb. She does a show on Sunday nights. Oldies, I'm old. I love oldies. I'm sorry. I love Deb's show on Sunday night. I'm not always around to catch her show. Usually Sundays are, from a mobile DJ standpoint, or the time where I'm dead. And I do stream sometimes on Sunday nights. I'll do some mellow stuff because I like calming down. So it might be the music that is maybe draws you into the chat. But then the people. That's that same thing, that acknowledgement, that interaction, that social aspect of it. That's a biggie. That's a biggie for me, and I think for a lot of people. I mean, if you want to hear 80s music, how many DJs are out there playing 80s music? It's there. That's easy to find. So what's the determining factor why you're in this 80s show as opposed to that 80s show? Sunday night. Let's talk about Sunday nights. How many yacht rock shows are on Sunday night? I think 3 or 4 now. So how do you determine which yacht rock show do you go to? It's amazing. It's so, not only is it the music, which probably it can be, because yacht rock, again, is my definition of yacht rock might be different than your definition of yacht rock, but it's the people. It's the people watching, the people chatting, the people interacting. It's the DJ interacting with you, whether it be live or just in the chat. Hexonair says, I followed somebody who played the same every week. Music I like, but not the same all over. Automatically, I hook off. But I also learned to listen to the music I did not particularly like before. Yeah, and that's it's the goth stuff. My wife loves goth alternative. Like I was never huge into it, but now we listen to it here at the house. I'm like, well, that's not bad. There was a DJ on for a long time named Hate Meor. I loved Hate Meor. She's no longer on. Um, um, Alternative, Captain Jack Tastic. I loved Captain Jack, but and you're right. I mean, I personally don't listen to that stuff like that or buy it, but I love listening to Captain Jack now because I learned that. Trish says I like a friendly chat and I will stay. Yes, exactly. And that again, fun music, a good chat. That's great. I'll even stay if the chat's good, but maybe not even the music. You know, I'm not a I'm not a huge hip hop fan. Rap fan. I'm not a huge hip hop rap fan, but if I'm in a chat where there's a bunch of people and they're having a good time, I'll hang. I'll hang. That's fun stuff. Um, don't like to be ignored. Yeah. Well, we've talked about this before. I have an ego. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm I admit it. I have ego. I got chips on my shoulder. I don't like to be ignored. That makes me feel bad. It hurts my ego. It bruises my soul. If you ignore me, it bruises my soul, and that's not any fun. I don't like being that way. Trish says I like when they include me in the conversation. Exactly, and but I think some of that is kind of like what Hex and Air was saying that. Uh, when you're in a chat, if people know you, they recognize your name. They, oh, hey, cool, it's Trish, or hey, it's Hex, or hey, it's Chuck the DJ. That's neat. We all like that, I would think. Um, uh, Dan Sans DJ Deb responding to Trish, who says, "I'd like to include me in the conversation." Dan Sans DJ Deb says, "Yes, I especially if you're new to the channel. Yeah, make them feel welcome, because I know people can come into the chat and feel like, oh, there's a click." There's a click there. You got to bring. It's just like guys on the golf course. You come out to the golf course, and you got the same guys there, and we've got our click in the men's club. Got a bunch of guys, and certain guys like guys more than others. But you got to be welcoming to everybody. So Hexanair says it's 2 a.m. here, but I don't go to bed. Is it 2 a.m.? Where are you, Hexanair? I probably should know that. I probably should recognize it. But we're getting close to the end of the show. This has really been a fast-paced show for me. It's really gone by fast. Oh, Central Europe. Okay, nice. I will I will probably forget that because, as my moderator Tina Baby will tell you, I have a terrible memory. I count on her a lot of times to remind me, oh yeah, da 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 da. So, but she's not here, so I'll probably forget. Trish, I call people names on everybody so often, let them know I acknowledge them when I used to be on cam. Yeah. Damn Pete, wow, I have a mic today. Yes. My chat showed my chat showed me pretty boring if I didn't have a mic. Damn Pete, another fun. Damn Pete. I mean, you want to talk about an amazing streamer? When Damn Pete first came on, I have to admit, when Damn Pete came, he was one of my favorite streamers because the variety of music he would play, and he knew my wife. He knew my wife liked Rolling Stones, and if he knew there, he'd play a Rolling Stones song for my wife. Now, now Pete, don't get mad, but what doesn't appeal to me, I'm not much for the game, right? Which is one of the reasons why I don't go to your chat as much, because the game, the game. But Pete is now. I think last night when I logged on, I think Pete was at the top of my list as far as having people in the chat, because different things appeal to different people, So yeah, I mean, Pete, Radioactivity 86, how you doing? Welcome in. Sam Nation says, on the other hand, I don't like it when first-time chatter pops in and immediately asks for a song request. Yeah, yeah, it's like, pay a little dues, all right? At least say hi, at least, something, and I get that sometimes, when people will come in and, hey, welcome to the chat. First time, oh, hey, cool, yeah, what are you playing? Oh, I'm playing rock. Oh, hey, can you play? Da da da. Well, yeah, and and I have all my music on my computer, right? And I don't my streaming computer is not hooked up to YouTube or whatever. So if somebody asks for a song, if I don't have it, if I choose to get it, which I will do, is I gotta like put virtual DJ on auto mix. I gotta go into the house. I gotta go into my office. I gotta log on to either Extend a Mix or whatever. I gotta find the song. I gotta put it on a flash drive. I gotta come back out here. I gotta put the flash drive into the computer, and and play it. So the request thing is scary. We're getting close here. Follow me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Radioactivity. When the first time person comes in, oh yeah. By the way, follow me. And I'm all for sharing. If you're a streamer and you're in my chat and you want to say, hey, I'm going on later tonight or I go on tomorrow, if you want to add that in, that's great. But if you're just like we're talking about first time viewers here, right? If you're a first time viewer and you pop in and one of the first things you say is, oh, by the way, I'm going to, follow me. I'm going to be on in a little, okay, and then you never see him again, right? Play Freebird. Your stream is, but so I love you too, damn Pete. Yeah, it's so funny. DJ Ryan says it's a whole thing for Chuckles to get a song he doesn't already have. It is. It's a huge thing for me to do that. And it takes time, and all of a sudden, you're looking at the screen, you're going, where's the DJ? The DJ's gone. The DJ's gone. Drive-by self-promo will automatically get a ban from me if I'm modding. Yeah. That's I like that drive-by. That's funny. DJ Tris, see, I am about to stream now. Don't like. Oh, see you. I'm about to stream now. Don't like. Or they wait for the shout out and leave. Yeah, wait for me to acknowledge you, Dance Dance DJ Deb, and then leave. I feel bad when I raid and run. And I know I raid Dance Dance DJ Deb a lot because our times seem to work out well. But when I'm done streaming, I'm ready. I'm ready for bed usually. So it's like, hey, I gotta raid and run. I'm sorry. And I'll try to pop in at least for the couple of minutes to say hi and stuff like that. But yeah, it's DJ Hack. When I was doing a one-hit wonder stream, someone new popped in and asking for a Michael Jackson song. Yeah. At least if you're going to ask, I'm old. Thank you, Deb. Yes. At least, yeah. If you're going to request a song, at least try to request something within the theme of the night. It's just like usually Monday nights and Wednesday nights I do what I call mellow nights, right? And somebody will come in and ask me, hey, can you play Freebird or whatever, And no, it's mellow night. It's mellow night. Please try to chill out. KGB in the house. We were talking about KGB. I said his name 3 times, and damn it, the sucker popped in. How you doing, KGB? Yeah, it's one. Yeah, in a way, one of a kind. Yeah. DJ Ryan. Most of us can download a song from the same computer we're streaming from. Just saying. Yes, I know most of you can, but as I've said before, I am not a techie guy. And as you know, Rai, and some of you know it because we've talked about this already. My one streaming computer right here has everything on it. It has all my songs. It's got my OBS. It's got my virtual DJ. It's got my program for my redemptions. It's got, everything that has to do with streaming is all on this one 6-year-old computer. I don't think I can make it do anything else without it blowing up. So hang on, computer. You're okay. All my videos, and I play videos, so they take up more space than just music, So I'm not going to tell you what we were talking about because you weren't here. Next time, get here earlier. So yeah, I mean, I've completely lost my train of thought now. But ladies and gentlemen, we are past the 5 o'clock time. We're at 5:04, which a little bit longer than what we normally try to do here on Chat with Chuck. But I do appreciate everybody kind of hanging out with me and putting up with me, because as any of my ex-wives will tell you, that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, is to put up with me. You were at the principal's office. Someday, ladies and gentlemen, KGB has been on a micless run. He has been, and I'm not really sure why. And he has been streaming without a mic, and I think without a camera, at least on him, if I'm not mistaken, which pisses me off to no end because I think he's a hunk. New format, but. Do you? Can we talk about this? Have you got a minute? Will you answer questions about this? So okay, we're going overtime, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. I hope you don't have anything to do. I'm gonna try to nail KGB. Okay, so you say you're going for a new format. Okay, so is your new format gonna be micless? DJ cameraless, cameraless, because I know that you have it on your gear, on your mixer, on your board, and that's that kind of thing. So do you feel that is going to be your new? Now don't say for now because that means maybe something else is going on. Like oh my God, I got a suntan and I burnt my face and my face is peeling off. I don't want anybody to see me. But once it gets better, I'll be back on. So you're changing your format. Are you changing your format because you feel like you'll get more viewers? Or you're hoping that you'll get more viewers, or you think that's a way of getting more viewers, or you're just bored and you're looking for something different to do. And I don't know if you want to answer these questions, because I miss, we talked about a little bit about this earlier on. I missed that interaction. DJ Hack had about 30 huge turkeys in his yard about an hour ago. Thanksgiving. I swear to God, I thought the turkeys could fly. No, there is a reason. We'll get back to the old format in the near future. Okay, all right. So then KGB is out in the sun, and he burnt his face, ladies and gentlemen, and he got a really bad sunburn, and his face is peeling off, and his skin it looks like a zombie is what it is. Because when people don't give you the reason, your mind immediately goes to the worst case scenario. Okay, he got in a fight. He was in a brawl at one of his gigs, and he got his teeth punched out. He's got no teeth. He's walking around. Thank you, Tang. He's walking around. He got no teeth. So yeah. So it's just like, why did you guys get a divorce? Well, and then you're gonna think the worst possible thing, right? Right. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna pressure you. I'm not gonna pressure you. You get back to the old format in the near future. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll let you have that. I don't want to pressure anything. And Tang got my reference, and I appreciate that, Tang. Dance CJ Deb says I was on camera all the time until my accident. Now only on raid trains. Okay. I'm either out of the loop or I don't know. And again, I'm not gonna pressure anybody into doing anything. I don't know about your accident, and if I do, again, crap ass memory. I forgot. I'm lucky. I remember where I live half the time when I'm coming home. I'm like, yeah, that looks like my house. I'm glad you're okay from the accident, because like I say, I do enjoy your streams. All right, so I had a couple more things I was gonna talk about today. I think I'm gonna save them for next week. One of the things I was gonna talk about. Are you ready for this? I was gonna talk about my wife. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I was gonna talk about Black Sheep Kajura, but I'm gonna hold off on that. And I think next Tuesday I have a gig, so Chat with Chuck won't be on next Tuesday. I have an event next Tuesday. I have a silent disco that I'll be doing next Tuesday, so I won't be for a party. So I won't be doing that. Master Rasta 420 drinking on Twitch. Chuck Chat. Damn, I missed the talk. Yes, you missed the yes. That you did, Master Rasta 420. So again, I do want to thank everybody for being here. I hope that if you get a chance, you pop over to the YouTube channel. If nothing else, just follow it to show that hey, look, there is a little acknowledgement there. I do appreciate that. If you have an idea, if you have things you'd like me to talk about, if you have any idea. Yeah, I know, Deb. I was going to talk about streamers that stream long. I was going to. We're going to have to wait till next week or the week after next now, since I'm not going to be here next week. I've ran out of time. So I do appreciate that. Again, as I was saying, if you have ideas, I'm always open for ideas. I'm always open for chat with Chuck. So please feel free to message me, to shoot me an email, to find me on Facebook, IG, or whatever you want to do. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kind of do my closing. I'm going to stop recording the show, and then I'm going to play some music. And I hope that you guys come back. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope that you had a good time. All right. So thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.